Welcome to the Legally Speaking podcast. I'm your host, Rob Hanna. I'm pleased to introduce to you our Clio Con 2023 mini clips mini series. I'm super excited because I'm today joined by an Instagram friend that I get to meet in real life at Clio Con in Chandler Holsapple. So please introduce yourself to our community.
Hello, thank you so much for having me. My name is Chandler Holsapple. I'm the founder of a virtual intellectual property law firm called Lethal Legal, and we focus specifically on trademarks.
Awesome. And we are recording, as I say, at Clio Con. Have you been to a Clio Con before, and what's been your experience so far?
I have not. This is my first Clio Con experience, and I am so thrilled to be here. It's so fun, and I'm already planning on signing up to come next year also.
I'm excited for Texas, Austin, right?
Yes,
next
it'll
year.
be in Austin.
So tell people a little bit more about you in terms of your journey and then a bit about your current practice.
Yeah, so when I started out in the legal field, I was getting a lot of job offers at personal injury law firms. And I was just like, this isn't for me. I want to reverse engineer my life. And I knew I wanted time freedom, location freedom, of course, money freedom, but I didn't want to be tied to one location. And so that's where intellectual property and trademarks came in. So that's how I found myself in that practice area. And it's been amazing because I've been able to work from wherever. I move a lot. I travel a lot. So that's kind of how I got into the world of IP.
Yeah, exactly. And so talk us through your growth in IP, because that's a bit of a transition. And what do you most enjoy? Because I think it's a fascinating area of law. What do you most enjoy about it?
It is so much fun. It's so interesting. And I love that there's not necessarily a specific niche. There's so many different areas of IP, even in the realm of trademarks with the different people we serve. You know, there's content creators, there's therapists, there's restaurants. There's so many different types of goods and services. So the different type of people that I get to work with and the clientele, I think that's my favorite thing about it, because everyone is doing such amazing things. And it stemmed from, me coming into IP stemmed from the desire to reverse engineer my life. And now I get to work with people who are doing the same exact thing. They want that time freedom. They want that location freedom. They want that money.
I love how you talk about re-engineer, reverse your life. I think it's a really interesting concept. For someone listening in, give us some tips to how you went about doing that, because that's awesome.
Genuinely think about what you want your life to look like. I remember when I started out, I was being mentored and interning with someone who did criminal law. And I would have been great at litigation, okay? I would have absolutely killed it in the courtroom. But I didn't want to have to be running around for 12 hours a day, bouncing from court to court. And we barely even had time to stop and eat. So that's not what I wanted for my life. And I wanted to be able to travel often and have that time freedom, not have to show up to court and have those really strict deadlines. And as great as I would be in the courtroom and litigation, I didn't want that high stress type of lifestyle. And so I would say, picture what you want your life to look like, and then figure out what fits into that lifestyle.
I love that. I absolutely love that, because so many people don't do that, right? They just go through, and then that leads to unhappiness, burnout, mental health, various other things along that nature. We're at a tech conference. How much tech do you use within your firm? Are you sort of a tech enthusiast? Obviously, I see you understand the world of social media and marketing and getting your brand out there. But yeah, talk us through tech and your thoughts around it in terms of the legal industry.
So everything is based on tech because it's virtual. But admittedly, I don't think I know enough about all the different tech options that are out there, because especially with the innovation of AI and everything that's coming to life, I'm like, oh, we need to implement this. We need to do this. There's constantly ways to make things easier, which I love.
Yeah, I love that. I think and when I listened to Jack Newton, CEO of Clio's keynote, he talked about, increasing efficiency, right? And productivity and all these various tools and features that have come out, which is going to basically help law firms be more profitable, be far more efficient, and hopefully reduce a lot of the burnout. How do you handle challenging times during your career, right? You've mentioned you've kind of been able to create the life that you want, but you're still going to have some pretty bad days, right? So to inspire other people in the legal industry or people that might be feeling a little bit low, what would you say to them that would kind of help get them through any of those moments?
One, I would say take a break. We all need a break, and that's so hard. And there's a difference between doing nothing and resting, right? You can be doing nothing, but still not be resting. And rest is required for us to continue moving, going through the motions. So number one, resting. And I would say number two, leaning into other people for support. I think a lot of times, especially if you have been screwed over by someone or someone hasn't been super helpful in the past, it can be really hard to trust and lean into that support from other people. But to go to the next level, you have to lean into help from others.
Yeah, I always talk about it. It's a strength, not a weakness, because you think about when you're trying to solve a problem, you reach out to people. So if you have a problem, within yourself, reaching out to people is a strength because you're getting quicker to the solution. So I'm a big advocate for that. Let's talk a little bit about marketing social media, because I think, still certain lawyers don't see the value in it. Whereas I think no longer does word of mouth count for anything these days. You have to be visible, you have to be online, you have to be getting that attention. What's been your strategy to marketing social media for your firm?
So I have built everything based off of social media, especially Instagram. So it's been incredible. Part of that is in part because that's where my audience is. That's where my ideal client lives, right? So I don't believe I would appeal to, a much older crowd or a super corporate-y type of crowd. So that's kind of why I use it so much. But really diving into it allows you to connect with people on a deeper level. And even being here, it's crazy because there's so many, we met on Instagram. There's so many other lawyers I've met on Instagram but haven't met in person and in real life. So then when you get a chance to make those in-person connections, it's not as uncomfortable or awkward because it's like, wait, I already know you. I know a little bit about you. I get your vibe, and the conversation just rolls.
Yeah, and that's what I love about and it's a community, right? I think, you become a global and expanding one, which excites me a lot. Okay, so what would be your one tip for somebody who is maybe thinking about getting into IP, starting in the legal industry? What would be one or two top tips that you would give?
Okay, number one, know who Sonia Lakhani is. I have to give a shout out to Sonia Lakhani. She's the one that mentored me. She has a program called 2 Weeks to Trademarks. So that's how I got into trademarks and how I learned everything. So dive into the IP community, find a mentor, specifically Sonia, get connected with other people who are doing what you want to do, and don't be afraid to go for it. People have DM'd me and they've felt like they're held back or for some reason they're not doing it. When I entered the legal field, I always knew that I could bet on myself. And so if there's one piece of advice that I could give to everyone, it would be to always bet on yourself.
Yeah, no, I agree. You've got to have that internal confidence. And Clio Con, will you be coming to Texas?
Yes.
And why would you suggest other people come to?
Oh, it is fantastic. The connections that you make, the speakers that they have, the sessions that they host, the connections that I've made just from today alone are so valuable, and it's been amazing to connect with people. And I know that these connections will continue on past this event.
And here's to that. And that's something we're big fans of. Well, Chandler, it's been absolutely amazing meeting you in real life, doing this recording in Nashville. We'll do another one in Texas.
Absolutely. Hopefully. Let's do it.
I look forward to it. And where can people find out more about you, and where is the best place for them to go? Shout out any social media handles or websites.
Absolutely. So my website is yourlethalegal.com, and my Instagram is @LawyerChandlerJ.
Awesome. From all of us, over and out.